And now for a taste of things to come.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this very special update here from the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. I hope y'all are having a fantastic Friday so far. I apologize if I seem like I'm a little bit washed out here. As I put in the chat room, I got called into work, start here in about an hour, so I'm not able to do this at home where I was looking to do it. Priorities for passions, as we all say. But that being said, I wanted to catch everybody up a little bit and kind of let everyone know what's been going on in my life these last 6 months, give or take, because things have been definitely off for me as of late. And I'm sure a lot of you guys that have followed the channels, the Simply Reliable Studios, the Casa D18 Studios, have noticed as much. So back in April, me and my living situation, we got evicted from where we were staying. Got served the notice and everything, and it was a scramble to try and find some place to live. Luckily, I was able to find somewhere. I moved into the new place, started living there on May 1st. I am going to do my best not to slander the woman that I was living with, but let me just say that I believe she is an undiagnosed bipolar. Definitely has some issues going on with her. One day things would be great. The next day things would totally flip. I'm not going to get too much into her personal life, but we'll just leave it at that. When I first moved in there, things were a little bit rocky, kind of a feeling out process, as most people go through. And then things got good. Things were getting really good, you know. Everybody was getting along. She had a couple other roommates. Everyone was getting along with each other. Everything looked like it was on the up and up. She seemed to have a genuine interest in things I was doing. And then all of a sudden that flipped again. And she started calling me weird, a creep, a threat to her safety. Just all of these derogatory things. And it was really messing with my mentality. And that's another thing we always preach here on the channels. Protect your mentality. And for a while, I just wrote it out. because I've been verbally abused before. You know, us men were told we got to suck it up, we got to deal with it, we got to stifle our emotions, we got to push that stuff down, we've just got to cope. And so that's what I tried doing for a while. You know, I would leave the house every day, whether I worked or I didn't. And I would come home late in the evening. So I would be out of the house on a bus at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't come back home till almost 9 o'clock at night, just so that I didn't have to deal with her. The days that I worked, sometimes I'd come back even later than 9. Sometimes it would be midnight, 12:30, depending on if I got a ride or how long I had to wait for Uber or Lyft prices to drop to where they were affordable. But this is what I was going through because I didn't want to be there. And she was making it very clear that she didn't want me there anymore. And it was almost impossible to do this from there, to do a live stream from the room that I was paying for the space for. You know, when you do filming and stuff, you need lighting a lot of the time. A lot of the time, natural light just isn't good enough. She didn't want me running the lights during the day, so I couldn't film. So I couldn't bring and produce product for you guys. And it was messing with me. I was only able to do spaces on X or live streams if I was out of the house. The library became my sanctuary because the library was open until 8 o'clock at night. And then I could jump on a bus at around 8:30, go home. However, can't really do a lot of watch-along streams, can't do shenanigans. So unless I was at work, then I was pretty much shit out of luck. And while we're talking about the watch-alongs and the wrestling, she wanted to try to demean my love of professional wrestling, my love and passion that I had just found my way back to within the last few years. You know, a lot of you guys know I stopped watching wrestling back in 2014. I only came back during the pandemic era, the Thunderdome era. I started watching AEW when Punk showed up. You know, so I've only recently started to find my passion again for this thing that is professional wrestling. And she, like a lot of detractors, always wanted to harp on how it's fake, how it's not real. Same woman, mind you, that would have Little House on the Prairie playing all day on her television. A scripted television show. Duck Dynasty, a fake reality show. She would have these things playing all day on her television. She said that she liked having Duck Dynasty play because at the end of every episode they pray. And so it brought God into her home. Then she turns around and she's verbally abusive towards me. She's demeaning towards me. Not very godlike. Far be it from me to cast the first stone because I haven't been a very religious person, never really have been. But I know enough. Okay? So the end of October was finally the last one. I leave one day. I'm actually on my way as I'm leaving to go and look at another room for rent so I can get out of it. And she follows me out the driveway, throwing rocks at me, cursing me out as I'm leaving. to go look at another place. She has no clue where I'm going, what I'm doing. She just knows I'm leaving. But she's throwing rocks at me. Literal stones. Go take a look at the place, interview. The lady isn't there who owns the house. I'm only talking to one of the guys that rents a room there who's been authorized to show the room off. So he can't give me a definitive right then and there. Tell him my story, tell him my situation, tell him how desperately I need to get out of the place. Like as soon as the lady gets home, I'll talk to her, I'll let you know. So I go and I get a motel room for a week. And during this week, I kind of just decompress. I still go to work, got to still make money. I go to a wrestling event, Future Women of Wrestling. Got to see La Princesa Tiffany Nieves defend her FWW championship and some other women on the card. That's not what this is about. But I got to go and do things and decompress. And as I'm in this room, I hear from the guy telling me that I got the room at his place, at the lady's place. Perfect. Check out of the room that Sunday, I think it was October 26th. And head over to that house. Nothing more than the clothes that I had with me at the motel. Which wasn't a lot, but it was about a week's worth of clothes, enough to get me by. That Thursday, the Thursday before Halloween, so this would have been the 30th, rent a U-Haul, go over to Bipolar Lady's house, get all my stuff out of there. Take it back over to my new place, unload the stuff that doesn't fit or that I don't absolutely have to have, I take to my storage facility. And so I've been in this new place now for almost 2 weeks. And I feel like now I'm at a place where I can talk about it, because if I had done this sooner, I would have been a real negative Nancy. It just would have been this dark, not so pretty stream. That's why I used the image of Kermit the Frog and the rainbow lettering, because for now at least, this is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is happiness. When I moved in, the lady who owns the house tells me, "Welcome home." This is my first day there. And she's telling me, "Welcome home." Communicate with her on a daily basis. She's very sweet, very genuine. Older woman, older Hispanic woman. One of the other roommates is Hispanic, so sometimes they speak Spanish to each other, and I kind of am out the loop. There's a few things that I don't like. A couple of rules that are in the house living situation that I'm not a fan of, but I can deal. You know, it's not anything tragic. You know, I don't have kitchen privileges, so I can't go in the kitchen and cook something. I have a microwave in my room, and I do have use of the refrigerator. You know, I can put stuff on a shelf in the fridge, stuff on a shelf in the freezer, so I can keep my stuff cold. And I have a microwave in my room, but I can't go in the kitchen and like cook up a pot of pasta and portion it out for like 3 or 4 days during the week to save money. But that's fine. I've never been a huge cooker anyway, if we're being real. Showers, she tries to keep showers to about 3 minutes because, again, older lady, retired, only has a specific income that she can put towards the bills. I've never taken 3-minute showers before. 5 to 10 has always been my norm. Still trying to work on getting those down. But for right now, I'm not being criticized for taking longer than they would like. Because as I explained to her, I work at a restaurant. I deal around food all day, trash. Don't want me coming in the house smelling. So if I need a couple extra minutes to make sure that I get fresh smelling to be around this lady and in this house, there's an acceptance there. I don't have to leave on my days off now. I can if I want to, and I may still occasionally go to the movies on a Tuesday because they're $5, $5.50, depending on if I go to Cinemark or Cinema West. But I don't have to get out of the house. I can just chill in my room all day, which has always been more my style. Just kind of hang around. I don't have to worry about being out 12 hours and what I'm doing, what I'm spending. I'm not being criticized for my love of professional wrestling. I can actually get back to watching the current product. Maybe not when it airs every day because of my work schedule, but I can at least get back to watching it. I watched this week's NXT. I had to watch it the day after on CW, CW app, because I don't get regular TV to have a CW station. But I actually got to see this week's NXT. I was supposed to do a watch along with James J. Hebert 95 today for GCW, but I got called into work. Again, priorities over passions. Still got to make money. He understands everything's good. Make sure you check that watch along out when it starts at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. But it's a good feeling to be in a place that's warm and happy and seems to want me there and isn't trying to run me off, isn't trying to demean me, isn't trying to abuse me. So with that being said, content is going to start coming again on the channel. What content and how frequent? That's still up in the air because I don't want to commit to a daily schedule of trying to give you guys content and then not be able to deliver. So what I might try to start with right now is weekly. I try to go to the movies on Tuesdays if I'm not working. Like I said, it's a cheap day. So if I get to go to the movies, see 1 or 2 films for what it would cost for one movie on a normal day, maybe look on the weekends for movie reviews, Renegade's reviews to come back where I'm talking about some of these new movies that I'm seeing in theaters. I really was enjoying doing albumversaries. That's going to take a little bit more commitment. That may not come back right away, but give me some time and maybe it'll start flowing again. Deep Cuts, this is the remix. Those shows can maybe come back because I know I had a few of them canned that never got to air. And those aren't as time sensitive. So I can record a video for that. And it's not like it has to go up on a certain day because of it being an anniversary. So I may bring those back as well. That way we get some movie content, some music content, plus the wrestling content. What I want to know from you guys, do you want me to get back to reviewing the current product of wrestling television? This is something I'm very hesitant about for a couple of reasons. Number one, no Netflix, so I can't watch Raw. Raw is definitely the brand leader for all professional wrestling television shows. NXT I don't get on the CW. I have to watch it minimum the day later. So that just leaves AEW Dynamite and SmackDown. Is it worth it? And on top of that, then you've got the fact that there's so many other wrestling television review shows out there in the space. Aaron Rift does one for No DQ. Datella does one for Rangers of Wrestling. That's two just within our own household of Simply Reliable Studios affiliates. You got JD from NY. You've got Vince Russo. You've got Just Alex. You've got Denise Salcedo, Sean Ross Sapp. All these people do reviews. And all of them are exponentially higher than me as far as the pecking order goes. So is it worth it? Or would you rather me start reviewing the independent wrestling content that we cover? Because again, I may not get to watch GCW tonight, but I can do a review of the entire weekend's worth of product and get that up there. So let me know about that. If you would rather me just review independent wrestling. I've got DJ Mudkeen, our buddy Zach, in the chat saying his favorite shows have always been Dad's Not Always on Wrestling. Hope that comes back soon. The reason that went away, Zach, is because we had kind of ran out of top 10s. We had kind of beaten every topic to the ground. So unless the Dads comes back as kind of a wrestling talk show, kind of like Talk Wrestling, kind of like Renegade's Reviews, kind of like Saturday Shenanigans, I don't see it happening. And then you've also got to factor in my schedule and Jeff's schedule. And when can it be done to fit within our schedules? But I'll talk to Jeff, see what he's down for. And since we've added another wrestling dad to the team, Walter Cruz, Mr. Reliable, maybe it can be a 3-panel show. Just the 3 of us. We'll have to see. But I just wanted to take a few moments. Already been almost 30 minutes. Thank you guys to all you guys that have joined me here today. Just kind of catch all up on what's been going on in my life. And hopefully now that this change has occurred in my life, this new living situation, this new family that I've kind of been adopted by, you'll start to see things improve on my end as far as content output. At the start of the show, I showed you our brand new holiday trailer, all the content that's coming up just this holiday season. We'll run our normal trailer now to kind of take us out of here. Thank you guys for joining me and tuning in. And make sure you're here tonight for the GCW Watch Along with James Hebert. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
And now for a taste of things to come.